The War of Words, Seth Rollins vs. Sami Zayn, betrayal, destruction, and the end of friendship. The night began with a Raw that no one expected would turn into a war of words, betrayal, and brutal destruction. It started like any other Monday night, bright lights, roaring fans, and the unmistakable presence of Seth Rollins, standing tall in the ring, flanked by Paul Heyman and the imposing Braun Breakker. Seth Rollins, full of confidence and arrogance, couldn't hide the satisfaction on his face. After all, at WrestleMania, he had done the unthinkable, defeating not just Roman Reigns but CM Punk as well. He strutted into the ring like a man who had conquered two of WWE's most iconic names, and now believed there was no one left who could touch him. The crowd was loud, some cheering, some booing, and others still chanting for CM Punk. And of course, the name Roman Reigns echoed through the arena. But Seth didn't care. He looked out into the sea of fans and spoke with a smug tone. He told everyone that the past was over. That CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, even Randy Orton, they were all relics of a dying age. In his eyes, none of them mattered anymore. He claimed the future of WWE stood in that very ring. Not just himself, but also Paul Heyman and Braun Breakker. According to Seth, these three were the foundation of a new era. A future that didn't need legends, because it already had something better. But before Seth could continue his self-glorifying speech, the arena erupted. Sami Zayn's music hit. The fans stood to their feet. No one expected Sami Zayn to appear, especially not at this moment. Seth was caught off guard, but he smiled, at first. Because deep down, Seth thought Sami had come to congratulate him, maybe even join him. After all, they were friends. They had fought together, laughed together, traveled together. Seth believed Sami Zayn was still on his side. As Sami stepped into the ring, the tension rose. Seth welcomed him warmly, saying, "Did you see what I did at WrestleMania?" But this was not the Sami Zayn Seth remembered. Sami's eyes were cold. His smile was gone. He didn't come for congratulations. He didn't come to praise Seth's accomplishments. Instead, Sami Zayn had a message, one that would leave Seth's world shattered. The betrayal unfolds. The air in the arena was thick with anticipation as Sami Zayn grabbed a microphone. Seth, still basking in the glow of his WrestleMania victories, raised an eyebrow. He leaned on the ropes, confident, waiting for Sami to speak. But what Sami said next sent shockwaves through the arena. Sami, with no hint of a smile, began, "Seth, you're delusional. You stand there calling yourself the future of WWE, but let's get one thing straight, you're not the future. You're just a man who can't accept the past, can't accept that what you've done hasn't meant anything without the people you've left behind." The fans were in disbelief. For the first time, Seth Rollins' expression faltered. This wasn't the Sami Zayn he knew. This was a Sami Zayn who had been pushed to his limit, a Sami Zayn who was no longer willing to stand in the shadows of the so-called future of WWE. "I'm not here to congratulate you, Seth," Sami continued. "I'm here because you've done something that can't be forgiven. You've turned your back on everything that made you who you are, on your friends, your allies, and the people who made you feel invincible. And that includes me." The arena grew quiet as Sami's words echoed through the arena. Seth Rollins, trying to maintain his composure, scoffed. "What are you talking about, Sami? We've been through everything together. What happened to you?" Sami Zayn's voice dropped, and his tone became sharper, more intense. "You've become everything you once fought against. You're the reason why I've had to change, why I've had to fight for my place in this company, and why I'm standing here today. You left me behind, Seth, just like you've left everyone else behind." For a moment, the tension between the two men was unbearable. The fans, who had once cheered for both of these superstars, now found themselves divided. They were witnessing something they never expected. Sami Zayn, the man who had been Seth Rollins' confidant and friend, was turning his back on him. Seth stood there, stunned. The truth of Sami's words hit him harder than any physical blow. And then, as if to punctuate his words, Sami Zayn threw down the microphone. The crowd gasped as Sami walked to the ropes, his back now to Seth. But before Sami could leave the ring, the unexpected happened. The brutal attack. Without warning, Braun Breakker, who had been standing by Seth Rollins the entire time, took a step forward. The atmosphere shifted immediately. The fans sensed that things were about to escalate. Seth Rollins, still reeling from Sami's words, suddenly regained his composure. A devilish grin appeared on his face. "Sami, you've made a big mistake. You should have known better than to talk to me like that." Seth, with Paul Heyman at his side, nodded to Braun Breakker. The tension in the air was palpable, and it was clear that this wasn't just a war of words anymore. This was about to turn into an all-out war. Sami, who had been ready to walk away from the confrontation, turned just in time to see Braun Breakker lunge at him. The crowd roared in shock as Braun grabbed Sami by the throat and tossed him across the ring like a ragdoll. Seth Rollins, now fully in control of the situation, picked up where his attack dog had left off. He approached Sami, who was struggling to get to his feet, and delivered a brutal stomp to his chest, knocking the wind out of him. "This is what happens when you step out of line," Seth spat, the venom in his words making it clear that he wasn't finished with Sami just yet. But just as Seth was about to land another blow, a new figure emerged from the crowd. The fans erupted into cheers, thinking it was someone coming to Sami's aid. But this wasn't just anyone. This was Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare, the man who had been embroiled in his own saga with Seth Rollins, was back. He stormed down to the ring with a fire in his eyes, ready to get his hands on the man who had ruined his chance at glory for months. Seth's smug smile quickly faded as he realized what was happening. Cody Rhodes slid into the ring, and with a quick series of punches, he drove Seth and Braun Breakker back. The crowd roared as Cody and Sami stood side by side, united by a common enemy. Seth Rollins, backed into a corner, was seething with rage. Paul Heyman tried to calm him down, but it was clear, this was just the beginning. The battle lines had been drawn. The ultimate showdown. As Raw continued, the chaos reached its boiling point. A furious Seth Rollins, desperate to regain control of the situation, demanded that the show be stopped and that his match be made official, a tag team match against Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. The WWE officials, recognizing the intensity of the situation, made the match official. The main event was set, Seth Rollins and Braun Breakker vs. Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. The match would go down in history as one of the most intense battles to ever unfold on Monday Night Raw. The fans knew that this was more than just a match, it was personal. It was about betrayal, redemption, and proving who truly belonged at the top. Match highlights. The bell rang, and the chaos erupted. Seth Rollins, fueled by anger and arrogance, took on Cody Rhodes first. The two men exchanged brutal strikes, each blow telling the story of their bitter rivalry. Cody, the resilient underdog, fought with everything he had, refusing to back down. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn found himself in a bitter battle with Braun Breakker, who towered over him with his raw strength. Sami, never one to back down, fought with a fiery determination, using his speed and agility to outmaneuver Braun. As the match reached its climax, it was clear that the stakes had never been higher. Seth Rollins, at his most dangerous, unleashed everything he had on Cody Rhodes. Braun Breakker, looking to prove his loyalty to Seth, kept Sami Zayn at bay. But in the final moments, it was Sami Zayn who stunned the WWE Universe. With a quick and calculated maneuver, he delivered a devastating hell-of-a kick to Braun Breakker, knocking him out cold. As the crowd erupted in shock, Sami turned to Seth Rollins and locked eyes with him. The tension in the ring was unbearable. Sami Zayn, with the crowd chanting his name, climbed to the top rope and launched himself at Seth Rollins, delivering a flying elbow that sent Seth crashing to the mat. And just like that, the era of Seth Rollins' reign had ended, and the future of WWE was now in the hands of a new generation. What we witnessed on that night of Monday Night Raw was nothing short of historic. Betrayal, redemption, and destruction collided in the most dramatic way possible. The foundation of WWE's future is shifting, and the question remains, what's next for Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the war has only just begun. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to Wrestling News CC for more updates on this ongoing saga and all things WWE. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.